Hey guys, welcome back. And today I wanted to talk about kind of a pet peeve, something that I've had more of some actual like life experience on working with clientele, and something that just pretty much comes up with any meeting that I jump onto, or just really in general, just I think with the industry of marketing. Um, and let's just, to boil it down, it's essentially the whole topic on planning. That's really what we're talking about here. And if let's just say you want to have more, advertising so you can get, the tickets sold for an event that you might have. And, you're trying to get 150, 200 people in a room, and you really have no idea what types of content you're going to really put out on a daily basis. So you have your weekly meeting, kind of reviewing the status of a campaign. It really, all of that really doesn't matter. Like, we can sit there and come up with new ideas for how to get to the magic number, the amount of tickets you want to have sold. But if you don't really have the right type of content, or even really a plan around your content, it's just freaking pointless. Like, it's like, there's just no reason to even really spend the money on marketing, whether that's through Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, whatever. If you don't really have a good, solid plan, and that plan should consist of a couple things, right? So with that, it's who is going to do what, right? Like, there needs to be assigned people for each piece of content. What is going to be used to actually get that content out to the different platforms that we're talking about, whether that's, again, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram. And there's tools out there. You got to be a little bit more careful with some of them, especially because right now algorithms and like Facebook especially are not really liking to work as much with the third parties. Like, the reach does kind of get affected. But you can still use these tools. Like, one of them is called Buffer. Hootsuite was kind of the pioneer in it, but I wouldn't really recommend utilizing it as much anymore. But you would want to have at least something that you can be distributing all this content through, and actually plan out in more of a calendar type of event. So let's just say your event is coming up at the end of October, October 29th or whatever it may be. You would want to make sure that you know what piece of content is going to go out every day. And I like to kind of bundle things up. So one week could be all about awareness of that particular event. And then, you can break that down into each particular piece of content, the topic, the name of it, what type of, creative it's going to be, whether it's a photo or a video, who's going to record it, who's that's assigned to, and how is that actually going to get distributed. All of that is actually more relevant than actually trying to put a whole funnel around the content you're doing, right? So, I mean, we can always tweak the dollars. We can always tweak the audiences. That's actually more of a quick fix that can be done on a quick meeting with the client or whoever you're talking with. And this video is not really being directed to marketers. It's actually being directed to the end users. I'm actually trying to make sure that anyone that works with any kind of marketing firm, whether it's us and me specifically or whoever, that you actually know that you need to almost be somewhat accountable for the type of content you're going to want to have out to make a successful event, or a successful ticket sale, or e-commerce purchase, or lead generation, whatever it may be. It still all kind of does need content around it. So with that being said, the biggest thing to do is really kind of switch your mindset. It's not really about, okay, I hired a marketing firm to do all this content for us, or to create a campaign to get us sales. I'm going to sit back and wait. It's got to be collaborative. It just does not work if you don't really give us the subject matter expert, like the knowledge that you have in your head that actually gets out onto a marketing plan. Like, without planning, it's the same kind of, concept of, measure measure at least twice and then cut. It's the same kind of concept of that, but it seems like everyone's just trying to go more this just keep starting and just execute, and they don't really plan out the type of content that's going to go onto each platform. So yeah, like basically measuring and planning is going to be key to make sure that your campaign is actually working. So some tools that I really like working with to actually plan out your content. I specifically like Monday. You can get kind of more colorful and actually set up more assigned pieces with each task. And that could include links that are relevant, images that make sense to go along with it. Again, you can assign people that might be helping with that piece of content, and you would want to, again, you being the client, should be the quarterback of what that subject matter, that topic should be. We should just be facilitators of that content. It should not be the other way around. We'll help get all of it streamlined and actually out, but we kind of need you to tell us what each piece of content is going to be used for and what that content really is. It's not us trying to come up with it beforehand and having you approve it. I actually want to turn that around and make it the other way. So Monday's been a good one. There is actually some really cool tools from HubSpot that you can actually work with. There's a spreadsheet, if you guys are more Excel users, that you can use that HubSpot's actually has available, and we'll put it out into this video as a link. And basically it would be a little bit more work to kind of set that up, because it is more of a typical spreadsheet, so you're gonna have to fill out each cell. But that could be a good starting point. Or again, you can actually just take out your planner and put, get to kind of the monthly view and focus what day's content needs to be out, focused on each different topic, right? So you can do it any one of three ways there. I mean, typically a Google Sheet or Monday probably would make the most sense, because then you can share that information a little bit easier. But again, before you start any campaign, just really put some time into that planning there. There are also different tools that you can use to really kind of streamline a little bit of the graphic design. So if you don't really want to have the marketing firm really be the graphic designers in this case, which we don't really necessarily want to do all the time anyway, we're trying to be more of a strategist and all of that. I recommend using Design Pickle, which I know we've talked about. That's one way of doing it. There's obviously a lot of third-party apps. Or if you're local to the DC area, there is actually some really useful companies that you can actually hire out that we can work with to essentially quarterback your content. And that could be from a video perspective, audio that goes along with it, and maybe even putting some micro content that goes along with it. So it all goes back to planning, though, because you don't know what each piece is going to really be about until you actually put a little bit of thought into it. And again, you always want to have that end goal in place. So if it is 200 sales and you want to, get that in 3 weeks, how many asks are you going to really do to get that? Like you're going to want to at least plan out the content that's going to be a little bit more of a solicitation type of post. It's going to have more of a call to action of buy a ticket, but you want to have at least a little bit of education before that. So it's going to be really like educate or raise awareness, educate on certain topics, and then hit people on buying a ticket, because then they're going to be more well informed. They're going to be the right audience. So even if you have like a sale or an offer that you're going to have at that event, you can then really push it there as well. So hopefully this has been helpful. Where I'm going to kind of give a couple more tips in the next couple weeks. And this is Samad Safadin. I'm outsourced CMO and chief strategist at Funnel Marketer, and looking forward to talking with you guys.